Let's now move on to the consultation. So the consultation to me is one of the most important areas of the whole process. Section 6, consultation. So one thing just to note before I go into the theory element is without informed consent, which has to be given during a consultation, you are not insured to treat your clients. So the consultation is so important so you can give your client all of the information they need. You can let them know about the risks, you can let them know about the aftercare. They can tell you what they're hoping to achieve. You can set expectations. And as long as you have filled everything out in the consultation form, you've given everything you need to do, and your client has agreed they're happy to go ahead, then they have given informed consent and you are covered by your insurance policy. So let's make a little start. So there are various aspects to take into consideration when we're doing a consultation. So I'm just going to go through a few of the notes here. So consultation is one-to-one talk with your client. Here you'll find out very important and confidential information that will help you advise and give clients the best treatment. Always introduce yourself to your client and make small talk to help put the client at ease. So ask them how their day was. How did they find you? Where did they find your details? Always introduce yourself, give them a little information about you, because you want to build up a little bit of rapport and a little bit of trust before you actually do that treatment. For me, one of the main things that you need to find out, and it's just etched into my brain, are a few questions in terms of medical history. So in the consultation, I'm doing my introductions, and then before I even start anything else, I am checking whether they have any allergies. Do they have any medical history that I need to be aware of? Are they on any medication? Are they on any antibiotics? Is there anything that I need to know? For me, with consultation forms, I use a booking system called Avatu, which means we have all of our consultation forms saved within that system. So when a client books an appointment or I book them in for an appointment, they automatically get sent the consultation form. They fill that out. It gets sent back to me before the appointment. And it just means that I can check over everything beforehand. I can check the medical history, I can check allergies, I can check whether they are in good health and how they're feeling. For me, I like it that way because if I need to give them a call because I need to contraindicate them, because let's say, for example, they have a cold sore, it saves wasting anyone's time. It saves wasting theirs, filling that out on the day, and it saves wasting my time. So if you can, try and invest in a booking system and get your consultation forms sent out before the client comes in. Another really good reason for doing it that way is you can see all their medical history and you can see their medication, which means you can look it up so you understand what they're taking and what their medical history is, so you can have a chat with your client at the time of the consultation. And I always think that gives the client a lot of trust. Let's just have a look at what else we've got in here. Photographic evidence, GDPR. Always get into habit of taking before and after pictures. I mean, some insurance companies won't require that you take before and after pictures for facials, but they will for aesthetics. However, for me personally, I take before and after pictures of every single client. I mean, obviously, you're not going to do that within the consultation. You're going to take the picture before the treatment, but you can say to your client, are you happy for me to take pictures? Are you happy for me to use these pictures on social media? Some clients won't want you to. Some clients would be happy. Some clients will want to see the pictures before you do them. If they're not happy to have them shared on social media, then you don't share them on social media, but you say to your client, I do need to take a picture for my insurance purposes. That's another good reason for having a booking system, because within a booking system, you can upload all of your pictures. So under every client file within my booking system, I can upload my client pictures. And like I say, we use Avatu. If you want a link to Avatu, you want any support with Avatu, then just let us know. In terms of timings for consultations, I would say you're looking at around 10 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on the treatment you're offering. If you're doing, a full range of facials or a facial plan, it may take slightly longer. I think I probably tend to book out 15 to 20 just to be safe. When you are doing your consultation, Make sure you're professional. Make sure you sit in line with your client. You don't want your client sitting down and you standing up as if you're above them. I do believe that's really important. During the consultation, it's important to remember that every client will have different needs and wants. When advising on the treatment, the technician should establish and explain the following. Establish the client's usual routine. This is really important. If a client's coming in for a facial because their skin is really dehydrated, we want to find out about their routine. Do they exercise? Do they drink enough water? What are they eating? What's their gut health like? You want to explain the benefits of the treatment to the client. What is the treatment that you're recommending? What does it involve? How is it going to help their skin? Establish the requirements for the treatment and what the client is hoping to achieve. Discuss the possible risks and side effects. So you always need to make sure you're explaining the risks within your consultation. What are the risks? Allergies, redness, sensitivities, for example. Analyze the client's skin and manage expectations. Generally that's going to be done during your facial once you've cleansed the skin. Fill in a record card. So this is your consultation form. Discuss costs and a treatment plan. Make sure your client is aware of what they're going to be paying before you do that facial. And if you recommend a plan, you can recommend that in the consultation. Discuss any changes the client may need to make during their usual routine. This could be, for example, adding in a SPF into their morning routine. Discuss aftercare and home skincare regime. For me personally, I always like to discuss aftercare before they have the facial. And reason being is, it's not so important with a non-invasive facial. However, with a non-invasive facial, ideally, the client is going to really reap those benefits if they can leave those products on the skin. So no makeup for 6 to 8 hours. Let's say a client is coming for a facial, they're about to put loads of makeup on and go and have a photo shoot. Firstly, we don't want to be putting makeup on. Secondly, they might have a bit of redness where we've brought that blood to the surface. So they need to be made aware of the aftercare before they go ahead to make sure, again, that they can make informed consent. So we've got a consultation, we've got a chat, you're filling out the form, you're checking medical history, you're checking medication, you're checking allergies, you're setting expectations, you're discussing requirements and needs, you're building trust. So it really is important to carry out a thorough consultation for every single client. And generally, this is just going to be the first appointment that you give them this time. When they come back for subsequent treatments, you can obviously check, has any medical history changed? Is there anything that we need to discuss that's kind of changed from the initial session? And in the next session, we will be discussing skin conditions.